The emphasis that I'm seeing as I kind of studied this again, and as I said, I did a program on it a year and a half ago. And folks, you are listening to Understanding the Times Radio. And I'm Jan Markell. Eric Barger's in studio with me. But I'm talking to David Fiorazzo, who's got an outstanding book, We Carry at the Cost of Our Silence. And he's got a whole 30-page chapter on a topic we covered a year and a half ago that drew an incredible amount of interest. Common Core and other emphases include, again, global warming, the promotion of homosexuality, promotion of immigration, promotion of evolution, seems to be the celebration of promiscuity, abortion advocacy. We're going to get a little bit into the glorification of Islam here in just a minute or two. I want to play a quick soundbite and introduce people to a website. And the soundbite is Dr. Duke Pesta, and the website is going to be Freedom Project Education. It's fpeusa.org, and he's introducing this topic in a succinct 1 minute and 44-second soundbite.
Common Core. Say what you will about Obamacare, disastrous as it was, it was voted on in the House and the Senate. It appeared before the Supreme Court, right, where it had a hearing. None of that was done with Common Core. Nobody was consulted about Common Core. I've said many times in my talks that this education reform is every bit, probably more dangerously transformational than even healthcare, because you're getting kids as young as 5 and 7 and 9 and 12, and you are completely warping them with regards to how to view their own government, how to view their civic responsibilities. You're shielding from them critical information about what's made this country successful and fundamentally decent. You're shielding that information, and you're replacing it with a lot of loaded propaganda and of that type. So keep Mr. Gruber in mind as we walk our way through some aspects of Common Core. The NEA farce. Well, I want to add one thing to what Alex taught you about the history of this country. Take the NEA, the National Education Association, arguably the most visible guide of American public education for the last 70, 80 years, starting in 1948. Quotes from 1948 through 1970, right when American education was completely stopped being a tragedy and became a farce. And what I think is really remarkable about the years 1947 and 1948, as this country was winning the bloodiest war in human history, beating back ultimately both communism and fascism, as we did that, as the greatest generation gave the ultimate sacrifice to ensure liberty and freedom, our educational mentors, our educational guardians were already plotting the overthrow of that through public education.
Dave Fiorazzo, except what I said a few minutes ago, there are some Christian teachers, and there are even others who are just part of the NEA who do not go along with this. But let's just focus on Christian teachers here for a minute. What do you advise them?
Oh, Lord help them. They are really missionaries in a pagan culture, pagan society within the education system in America. It is a very dark place for them. However, that is their calling. Some of them have chosen to be there, and they've got to be the salt and light that Jesus said we are to be. First, they need our prayers. I'm not sure exactly how we can support them other than prayer, but they've got things coming against them at every angle, and this is going to be very difficult for some of them. Personally, I know a couple that have resigned. One retired early, one resigned, and she was in her late 20s because of the things coming down the road with Common Core, because of this anti-Christian worldview being implemented even more, taking it to the hyper level. Yes, they need our support. We also somehow need to be involved. Parents need to be on school boards, even though we and they, parents, did not have a say in Common Core and implementing these standards. The parents can see what kids are actually being taught, and they can go in. They have to get students. Their students, kids, if you have kids in public schools, they need to be open about what they're being taught in schools. Parents need to ask a lot of questions. Because remember, UNESCO's goal is a new world order through the vehicle of global socialism, and to fulfill this agenda, education must be redirected, philosophies must be reframed to eliminate any remaining biblical values. This is the worldview war. I have a chapter right before the Common Core chapter, worldview war, creation versus evolution, and you need to understand, first of all, how our founders thought and what they believed, and then we need to understand what the Bible teaches regarding creation, because that has been taken out 50 years plus ago. Even with the Scopes monkey trial in the 1920s, there were challenges to the teaching of creation, of intelligent design, and they were trying to shove evolution in as early as the 1940s. So this goes back quite a way, but it is all under the guise of this worldview that there is no God.